Have you ever wondered why you just can't kick that bad habit? What about negative feelings that just keep you from being your best self? Well, I recently talked to an organizational expert who says that those tendencies likely didn't begin with you. And a little detective work can start you on a promising path of emotional renewal. Take a look. Judy, thank you so much for being with us. This topic is so fascinating to me because I know that our past plays a large role in shaping who we are. But of course, some of it is genetic. It's in our DNA. So is there a way that we can actually research our emotional DNA? And if the answer is yes, then what can we learn from it?
So much, so much. Everything about the way you react to relationships, money, love, happiness, leadership. And yes, it can be researched. You can search your own. And now there is research out there. A lot of the epigenetic studies show how emotional DNA, which is your pattern of thoughts, feelings, actions, inactions, echo down from prior generations all the way to you. And there's a reason for that. They're actually wanting to be seen so that you can change them into a strength and write the chapter that belongs to only you. So how do you find those? Where do you find that you're super stressed, really irritable, very sad, and you're not sure why, but it's been around for a while? Maybe an event kick-started it, which is what generally starts emotional DNA. Since then, you just haven't quite managed to spring free of it. It's a little bit like that old habit that feels comforting,
Yes.
And you want to hold on to it, but it really isn't serving you.
Right.
So you're looking at where did it come from? Is it serving me now? And what is it asking me to become? So is sadness asking for my joy?
And there's something called systemic work. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, systemic work is really the study of you within your family system, within your culture, within your country, because all of those aspects affect you too. And they echo down as well. Everything's waiting for you to kind of either take it to the next level or reimagine it.
Oh, I love it. I always think about that in terms of family. For instance, let's say someone has, something that's sad or a negative that they would consider in their family, that you can say you're either going to become that or be the exact opposite, right, Judy?
Exactly. So in systemic work, what we know is you can either repeat the pattern, stagnate, in other words, it doesn't move anywhere,
right.
Or you can be the game changer. And the whole purpose of these patterns is to say, we've served our purpose, but it's time for us to rest.
Right.
And it's time for you to bring us something new. So yes, the anger can turn into compassion. The struggling with money suddenly turns into somebody who's really, really fiscally smart.
Wow.
Because they look at all of that and they go, this is not working for me.
It's not working.
I need a different pattern.
Yeah, it's a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Exactly.
And so then how do we best identify these inherited family patterns that don't serve us?
I will tell you one of the easiest ways to spot them is if you're super dogmatic about a subject, if you find yourself hyper-reacting unnecessarily to a particular subject. Those two are really big clues. If you find that you've got something like the sadness and you don't know where it comes from, but it's always been there, the chances are it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to grandma or great-grandma, and it's time for it to be seen and given its place so that it can serve as a source of wisdom, and then it's time for you to pivot and do something else.
And so once we identify these patterns and we decide we are going to put them in the past where they belong, what are the steps that we can take to break free of them? It sounds easier said than done.
But it's not that difficult. Often what you will also find is right where your pattern that wants to rest, in other words, that big irritation is sitting, you also keep wishing, if only I could have that relationship, that financial situation, that kind of leadership. That's where you want to invest because that's calling you to the next pattern. So you're super angry and you go, everybody in the family is angry. I can't do this anymore. Now, imagine if I were really happy and you say to yourself, well, what makes me happy? Well, going to Disney World makes me happy. I'm going.
Right.
And you start investing in the things that pull you into a happier, different pattern. Now you're on your way, because the minute you get the one win and the next and the next, you kind of build in that sense of
Yes.
winning and changing. So it's literally one new thought, one new feeling, one new action. Not so difficult.
Not so difficult. Oh, I could talk to you all morning. Thank you so, so much. We appreciate your time. And where can we go to learn more?
You can go to judywilkins-smith.com.
Wasn't that such great information? I think we could all use a little spring cleaning, emotionally speaking. Makes me want to check on my family tree as well. I got to do that, 23andMe.